Hello friends of MFit Gym, Cheryl here. Today I'm going to take you through some of the moves that we use during my Kettlebell Amped, or I call it Amped Fusion, depending on what class I'm teaching. So I just want to take you through some of the moves so when you hear the names in class you'll know what I'm talking about, okay? So the first thing we're going to talk about are some different holds for the kettlebell. Number one is just called a basket hold. All you do is you wrap your hands around the kettlebell here. That's your basket hold. Now, there's several moves you can do from this position. You could do bicep curls, you could do presses, you could do press outs. So there's so many different options you can do with a basket hold, okay? Another hold I'll call a handle hold. You just hold it by the top of the handle. Now you can do lots of moves here as well. You can do bicep curls here. You can do a single arm upright row. So there's a lot of different moves you can do also with the handle hold. Another hold I'll say is a horn hold. You're going to hold the edges here like this. That might be your horn hold. Okay, that might be one of the moves we do for that one. Another one would be called by the bell. So you're basically going to hold it by the ball of the kettlebell. This makes some things a little bit easier. So for example, a bicep curl like this is much harder than a bicep curl holding it by the bell, okay? So it's just the distribution of the weight of the kettlebell that makes it a little more difficult. Okay, another position we call is a rack. What you do here is you just bring it onto your palm. Your thumb is on the outside. The kettlebell handle goes right across your palm. You take your hand and make sure your wrist is nice and straight, okay? What you don't want is your wrist going like that or the other way. It's just not the right way. You want a nice straight wrist. Now from here, you can maybe do some upright or some shoulder presses. Okay, there's so many different moves you could do from the rack position. And the last one I'm going to talk about as far as holds is called a bottoms up. Okay, for that, basically you just turn it so the bottom of the kettlebell is up, okay? And here again, there's a lot of different things you can do from this position. And this, if you held it one-handed, makes it a lot more difficult. It's a lot more wobbly. And that's where strength comes in and control of the kettlebell, okay? And if you're gonna go from a bottoms-up hold to a rack position, be very, very careful that you slowly release it down. You don't want it slamming against the back of your wrist, okay? So that's a couple of the holds. Now I just want to take you through some of the techniques. So we already talked about bicep curls, and these are pretty simple. And you always want to make sure you use both arms. You just don't want to overload one side. So if I do 8 bicep curls on this side, I always want to make sure I'm doing 8 on the other side so that you're nice and even. Another way, you can do bicep curls here. Okay, you can do 2 hands. You can hold a basket hold. So that's your bicep curl. The next move I'm going to show you is an upright row. I also refer to this as zip your coat. I want you to think you're bringing the kettlebell up straight up the center of your body and you're leading with your elbows. So if I turn to the side, I'm coming here, straight up, okay? Upright row. Now you can also do a single arm upright row, okay? And there again, you want to always make sure you do both sides. Okay, so that's your upright row. You can also do what's called a hinge over row. Now I'm going to turn to the side for this. I'm going to pretend like someone karate chops me right here. Okay? That's my hinge. My knees are not locked. I want to have nice soft knees. Okay? So here's your hinge position and here's your soft knees. I'm going to turn to the front again. Okay, the rows, the different type of rows you can do. You can do a narrow row, keeping the arm right next to your body, and just bringing your elbow to the back. The kettlebell's coming from down up towards your hip. You can also do a wide row. I'm going to turn my hand here, and I can do a wide row. Always making sure to do both sides. Okay, hinge row. Another one, shoulder press. Couple ways you can do. You can have it racked. You can be here. Okay, single arm shoulder press. You can be here in front of you. Okay, bringing your bicep right up next to your ear. Okay, you can also do a turnout. Okay, an Arnold press. You can have it facing you here, push away, okay? So you can do them that way. Again, make sure you do both sides. If that's too much, you can also hold it by the bell here. Makes it a little bit easier, all right? So like I said, there's different holds and different ways to do all those moves. Another one is called a front raise. Now, I like to take a little lighter. Always bend your knees when you put down and pick up a kettlebell. Front raise, I'm gonna hold it by the kettlebell, basket hold, and you're gonna bring it straight out in front of you. Now, if you notice, I only go to shoulder height and my arms have a little bend. I never ever wanna lock my joint, okay? So if I go from the side, soft knees, straight out, that's your front raise, okay? Another one you can do is a side raise. You can hold it by the kettlebell, bring it out to the side. Now, that's gonna require some control because you're holding onto the kettlebell. Out to the side, okay? If you hold it by the handle, out to the side. Let the handle flip in your wrist. Side raise, okay? Chest press outs. Normally I do these here like this, straight out from the side here. Chest press outs. You can also do that laying on the floor and pressing up. Rainbows, okay. What you're gonna think here, I'm going a little lighter on my shoulders, okay? And we do a lot of shoulders in our Kettlebell Amped and our Amped Fusion classes. Starting with the kettlebell toward one hip, you're gonna bring it up and over, basically like a rainbow shape. So up and over, okay? Now, if that's too much movement on the shoulder, you can bring this not as high. You can bring it in a little tighter next to your body. The further out your lever, okay, your lever is, the more difficult it is, okay, the more strain it puts on you, okay? And the last one I'm going to show you to do with the upper body is around the world. All you do here, make sure you hold it by an end, you bring it around the back of your body, you grab the other end and bring it around front. Now you can also bring it up higher, again, making sure you don't go any higher than shoulder height. That's your around the world. Try that, maybe balancing on one foot for a little bit of core work, core and balance and stability, okay? Okay, the next section I'm going to cover has to do with some legs. So, we do a lot of squats, different kind of squats in our Amped Fusion classes. I love squats. Okay, I like to hold it, basket hold, sitting down. Okay, now, I'm going to turn to the side. Chest stays up, your rear end's going to sit back in an imaginary chair here, keeping those knees back behind the toes, okay? Now, it's not important as how far you go, okay? What's important is you go as far as you can, okay? Don't worry about what your neighbor next to you is doing. If they're going all the way down and putting their rear end against their legs, doesn't matter. You do what you can do, okay? So, you have your squats, toes forward squats, okay? You also can do wide leg, turning the toes out on the angle. I like to call them sumo squats. Now in those, you want your knees to go the same direction your toes are. So your toes are toward the corners of the front of the room, down and up, okay? So there's your sumos. We also have some lunges. Let me move this guy out of my way here. Okay, in a lunge, let me turn to the side. A forward or a reverse lunge. One foot is to the front, one foot is in the back. You're up on the ball of your foot on the back, and you're tracking, your body stays center. I say ears, shoulders, and hips. Stay in alignment. Stay straight up and down. Now what you want to do here is try to keep your chest center and just drop your back knee toward the floor. You're driving down here and you're pushing up through the front heel to drive yourself up. Okay? So you can do your lunges here. Okay? Making sure to do both sides. Another move you can do is you can come down, pass it under the leg. Okay? Always making sure you're holding it by the end. Gives you a little more grip room. Okay? Doing the other side, the same thing. Now if you have, some people have knee issues. I do as well. I cannot bend my one knee just as far as the other one, but that's okay because I'm doing what's good for my body. Okay, I'm gonna keep my ears, shoulders, and hips in alignment. Toes are facing forward, down, and up. This arm's just for balance. Here we are. Down, pass, down, pass. Okay, so there's some moves you can do with the lunges. Another lunge you can do are side lunges. Now on the side lunge, your legs are a little further apart. Toes are basically to the front. They can be turned out a little bit. I'm gonna hold the kettlebell here for now, and I'm gonna just bend one knee over to the side. My chest stays up. My rear end is sitting back in an imaginary chair behind me. Side and side. Okay, side lunges. There you go there. All right. Let's see, figure eights. Okay, figure eights. What I want you to think about in a figure eight is you have to hold the kettlebell by an end. You're going to squat down, pass through one leg, stand up. Squat down, pass through, stand up. Okay? Now, you can, if you want to make it a little harder on yourself, is stay down and just work the figure eight without coming up. Okay? So that's figure eight. Another one we do is a little trickier. It's basically like figure eight, but it's called a gunslinger. Again, you want to hold it by an end, come down under one. As it comes through here, you're going to kind of stand up and swing your arm to the front. Okay? So under and up. Under, being careful not to go higher than the shoulder. Nothing good happens up here. All right? So under, swing, swing. All right? That's called a gunslinger. So we're working on a routine this month that includes a gunslinger and figure eights. And it also has some around the worlds in it. So if you see that one, that's what we're doing. Another move, probably one of my favorite moves, is called a clean and press. Let's break this down. Okay, so let's just do the clean first, and I'll do a squat with it as well. You're going to squat down, bringing the kettlebell with you. Now watch what happens here. The kettlebell turns in my hand. Now my hand faces me. I'm up at my shoulder. Okay, that's going to be the clean. Down to a clean. Down to a clean. Now, if I want, I can add a press to that, which we do in a lot of routines. Down, clean. Now turn it away. Press. Turn it back toward you. Clean, press. Okay? So, towards you here, away from you here. Clean and press. Okay, the last thing I'm going to cover with you is called our kettlebell swing. I'm going to take a little heavier for this one. Okay, this is probably the most important technique to go over with you is our swing. There are many different kettlebell programs out there. The way we do our swings in our Kettlebell Amped or our Amped Fusion or any of the Amped classes is this way. It's a hinge, okay? So what I want you to think of, remember we did the karate chop here, okay? I want you to kind of think that. So I'm going to turn to the side. Your kettlebell is going to be right next to your body. My arms are fully extended. My legs are straight, but they're not locked. Okay, so my legs are unlocked. Soft knees. I'll say soft knees. Now what you're going to do here, this kettlebell is right at the top of your leg. You're going to hinge, and the kettlebell comes right next to you, okay? So, here I am. I'm going to hinge. There it is, all right? Now, I also tell my participants, I don't want to see any space. Let me show you what I mean. Here's no space. Here's space. Okay, see all this space right here? I should not see that. You should not see that. If you're looking at yourself in the mirror, your kettlebell comes right next to you, okay? Hinge and drive. Okay, now, what you're doing here is you're not lifting. It's not a lift, and it's not a squat. What it is, it's a hinge and a push. Your arms, they're just going along for the ride, okay? So let me show you a full swing. Remember all the little components. Soft knees, feet apart, hands in tight to your body. Okay, hinge, ready, hinge, and push. Hinge and push. Okay, Now, this is a cardio move, so your heart rate's gonna get up. The other thing I wanna cover with you is how to switch. Say we're doing a single arm swing. So we're here. Single arm, okay? Single arm swings. I wanna switch to this hand. I do not switch here. I do not switch at the bottom. That's bad for your low back. What I'd like to see, hinge, switch here. Switch at the top. Hinge and push. Hinge and push. All right, I'm gonna turn to the side and I'm gonna do a few two-handed and single-handed and switches. Okay, no space, hinge, not a squat. Here we go, ready? Hinge and push, push, push. I'm gonna stop for a second. Squeeze those glutes, activate those hamstrings. Okay, here we go. Hinge and push, push, push. Single arm, ready? One arm. Switch top, switch top. Drive. I tell them, drive, drive. One more. And hold. Okay, so always remember, bend your knees to set the kettlebell down, bend the knees to pick it up. All right, so basically guys, see I'm a little winded just from those few swings. Kettlebell's a great program. I did a amped fusion this morning. I had 30 people on my Zoom video. It was awesome. We had a great time. Please grab yourself a kettlebell, go through some of these routines, put on some fun music. Okay, we use such great music in our amped fusion kettlebell amp classes. Thank you, Amy Moreland and Tad Moreland, for awesome programs that we can all share with our participants. You guys, make sure that you follow me on Facebook. I have 2 business accounts, MFit Gym, MFit 550. Also my personal account, Cheryl, middle initial E, Wood. Please send me a friend request, send me messages, whatever you want to do. Ask me anything you want. If you want to see more instructional videos on YouTube, let me know. Follow our YouTube channel, please. Follow us on Instagram, a couple accounts there as well. See you guys soon. Have a great day.